Happy Halloween, everybody out there in Union Arena Land. So, as many of us know by now, the new Binder or Folder Select cards, or whatever we're calling it, for Bleach have come out. By now, mostly everybody who purchased them should have their hands on it and are getting ready to start updating their lists and playing them in events. Now, I am still on my Yu Yu kick. I'm going to be playing Yu Yu super hardcore until I don't know when. It's going to be a while. But as soon as that's over, I am going to be playing more of these Bleach cards. But I've already been testing and brewing them for months now in anticipation of this coming out. And I wanted to share with you the 6 lists that I think are going to become the most notable things that come out of Bleach now, becoming the most powerful decks in Bleach as well. In case you are unaware, we've gotten select cards that are very, very good for the Bleach green deck, and other ones for the blue decks that are fairly good, and then some for the purple deck, but it's not the purples that are currently being played. So let's just start with the most common one, the Court Guard. This is a deck that is still Toshiro and Kenpachi, as they are meant to be, but now we have the support cards that help you play the deck so much more efficiently and have better energy and better triggers alongside it. So this is the only triggerless card that we have in the deck, this Kenpachi. He's a 4-drop, double energy producing 3k. However, reduce this card's require energy by 1 while in your hand. This character is not affected by BP reducing abilities. That is very important still. During your turn, if there is a character with 35 or more BP on your opponent's front line, this character gains 1,000. So, it is a 3-drop double energy producer that if you push up with it, if your opponent has something 35 or bigger, is a 4k. If it's a 3k or smaller, it's a 3k. So it just gets to swing through your opponent. This being an actual 4 cost, but only costing 3, allows you to curve into the raid Kenpachi and have all of that big brick of text that he gains when he's raided over top of a 4-drop. So it's very good, very impactful card. It's going to be a staple inside of this deck. If you're running Kenpachi, you're playing this card. It's a snap 4 of. It's insanely good. Now, the Toshiro specific support. Anyone who has touched this deck before knows that the Toshiro color trigger was super unfortunate. A 2-drop, sometimes 3.5k. That was it. Now it is a 3-drop, on play draw a card, double energy producer. That is insanely good for this deck. It adds a level of consistency, it adds some acceleration or consistency for energy on the back line, and not to mention, since this is not taking over the curve aspect of your deck, meaning your 0, 1s, and 2s, it having a green color trigger means it is more likely to be relevant if it comes out of your life and get a different card because you don't have those extra copies in your hand. So this card is a huge boost, a huge boon for the deck, and honestly is one of the main reasons that the deck has legs in the first place. The other card, Shinsui, that we have here, when played, look at the top 3 for a Court Guard, add up to 1 to your hand, put the rest on the bottom. Then if you added a card, discard a card. We've seen this card time and time again, but look at the trigger. It has a draw card, and it's a 3k 2-drop. It's awesome. This is your curve card. We are running 4 of it in this deck because, again, we just love consistency. And this is giving you ways to search for your Kenpachis, search for your Toshis, search for your curve cards, search for your draw cards, your specials, or not specials, but all of these cards that are so crucial to be able to win the game. Now, the other card we have, I'm going to make this very simple. You don't need to read what it does. This is Riza, the 1-drop Riza, but it's a Court Guard. That's it. So on play, scry 2. You look at the top 2, you can top or bottom any number of them. This is such a fantastic card in the deck. That's why we're playing it as a 4 of. Yes, we are a little over flooded with 0s and 1s, 11 and 6, but that is very important because we're still playing the Toshi. That is incredibly good to have just as a raid target, but if you draw him late game, getting to pitch a card, pick up another Toshi, then raid is fantastic. We've opted to play all of the Daigaron Hirmimarus because honestly, the Kenpachi special is only kill 5k if you have Kenpachi in play. If we were playing Yachiros, maybe we would care about having, one of her in the sideline to make it better as well. But this, at minimum, does a sticky rest, even if you don't have a Toshi in play. But with a Toshi, you sideline it instead. So I think this is just the better event to have period, just in general. As you can see, we do have one other little thing. A lot of people opted not to play this Kenpachi in JP when it came out. They were playing the 4-1 whose BP can't be reduced. Depending on what the meta looks like and shifts into, you can play either one. But I'm telling you, a Kenpachi 4-2 who has play into Kenshin, I probably want to play this more than the other ones, especially since you are being AP efficient with your characters, since we get to still play Rengiku. Again, we're super consistent, so her win played, if you have a Toshi player 2 or less, we have a lot of 0-1s and 2s, so you're very likely to be able to have another card just to spam the board and get to that count so Kenpachi can start killing things. But this is probably going to be the most common deck that you see starting to show up again. Now, let's move on to the next one, which I have appropriately named Toshi Tap That. If you've seen my shorts, I posted a long time ago. Toshi Tap Deck was a deck that I tried playing when we got Volume 2. It was just Unohana and Toshis, and the point of the deck was to spam Toshis as much as possible to annoy your deck into submission. And when we were playing against nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing, but Speedo Sonic and the SAO Switch deck, it was insane. But we have more threats than that right now, so this is a different version. Again, we're playing the Kenpachi package in here, 4 4s, and we are playing the other 2 1-drops and 2-drops. Now, we're only playing 3 of the Shinsuis this time, but that is because with the Unohana package, we are kind of forced into playing this card right here. Its non-trigger makes it a little sad, but the on-play of draw a card means we do have consistency. We have 7 cards that say on-play draw a card, which is fantastic. Then we have 4 that say scry 2, and 3 that say search the top 3. Combine all of that together, we only really need 8 double energy producers to get to 6 energy for Yachiro. And this card is insane. Big Unohana. When played, look at the top 4 for a Court Guard squad affinity whose cost is 4 or less required energy, and add it to your hand. Place the remaining on your bottom of your deck in any order. Reduce the AP cost of the next character with 4 or less required energy you use from your hand this turn by 1. So she is another way that you get to spam the board with much more aggressive plays. She's fantastic for that exact reason. So you get to search top 4, have consistency. Oh no, I needed another potential double energy producer. So I get this Toshi, play it, draw a card for free. I needed a Raider. I searched for the Raider. I needed this. I searched for that. The consistency of this deck is going to be very difficult for many people to handle. However, depending how aggressive your local scene is or the meta you are dealing with is, will dictate if she is better or not. I will say, this deck's ability to spam the board, pressure, and get Toshi online is something that is very difficult for a lot of people to handle. So it is still going to be a very good, very deadly deck to be playing, and it has so many amazing threats inside of it that you're probably going to be A-okay. Now, one thing I am debating about this list, and it might sound a little weird, I may trim the Kenpachi 0 cost, or cut it all together for the Ikakus. On play, draw 1, pitch 1. Realistically, you don't need to be spamming Kenpachi to win the game, and having just the double energy producer as a raid target should be enough. Considering how much searching and scrying we're doing, the Kenpachi is just the threat we are aiming for. We don't necessarily need him as the raid target. The draw pitch may add more consistency, and if you feel like this deck needs that, then probably make that switch. Or go 2 and 2, or trim an Unohana, trim 2 Kenpachis and play 3, so then you go 3, 2, 3. Anything like that would work great. Now, the next deck that I am so excited to play is Big Hoof Energy. This is a card that nobody has been playing because honestly, the deck was just I hit it or I don't, and that is way too bad. It had zero consistency. But this big man, old man Yamamoto is such a deadly card to be dealing with. He has Impact 1. All right, so that's pretty good by himself. He's a 5K. Yeah, sure. Like, he's a 7 drop. He should be a 5K. If Bandai ever gives you a 7 drop that isn't a 5K, yell and scream and kick and shout. That is horrible. Why would they do that? When played, choose any number of Court God Squad affinity cards on your energy line, move them to your front line. When attacking, all other Court Guard Squad affinity cards on your field gain 2,000 BP. So, this deck, if you can raid Yamamoto, the way it is designed, all of your characters after he swings are immune to blue and red color triggers. Immune. They cannot possibly hit anything. And the majority of your characters are immune to interact with 4K specific things, at least during combat, which means a lot of the defensive raids in the meta are not that defensive at all. The fact that it pushes up your characters to the front line as well means it has insane play into Red Kenshin. I'm going to shove 3 other characters up there with him after raiding and have a full front line and maybe 1 double N on my back line. Some of them are going to have step, and you're just going to have to deal with that Kenshin. Like, you're going to have to say, all right, Kenshin now kills. And I still have a 5K, so okay, I'm in. But the reason this deck becomes so much better is because, again, the consistency that Shinji and Shinsui both add to it. These are our curve cards. As you can see, we are running even heavier on the 0-1. We have 11 and 8. Ooh, I know, it's so many, but you have to play the Yamamoto 1 cost because that's his raid target. You only have 2 raid targets in the deck, and the 1-drop Shinji is insane. So yeah, I'm going to play that for consistency's sake. Shinsui is a 3 of, and this is the other card select card that we got. So it is a draw trigger, 3-1, single energy producer. If this character has a face down card under it, it gains an additional energy generation. When played, place the top card of your deck underneath it face down. Active main, switch to resting, place 1 face down card under this character into your sideline. If you do, it gains double green energy generation until the end of the turn. Meaning, on play, he immediately becomes a double energy producer. Okay, that's fine. He's a 3K double energy producer with a draw trigger. Good enough. But in an emergency situation, you can make him a 1-time triple energy producer, and then after that, he turns into a single energy producer. That helps you get to 7 so magnificently well. It's crucial for this deck. And some other characters that people may be forgetting about exist. Keep in mind, everything gets plus 2k after Yamamoto attacks, so this is a double energy producing double attacker. Yamamoto raids, pushes him up. Yamamoto swings. He became a 4K double attack. Pretty darn good. This is a 2.5K double damager. Raid Yamamoto, swing with Yamamoto, 4.5K double damager. That is terrifying. And then we have the Sanjin, which was I was convinced to play because I was playing the 2-drop if you have 3 or more court guards is a double N anyways. But yeah, this having step in our current meta is too invaluable for me not to run. And the text of he buffs somebody by 500 when attacking is not irrelevant. Him buffing in Ikaku up to a 2K, Yamamoto swings Ikaku's up to a 4K. Fantastic stuff on that. So yeah, he's a very good target as well. All of that combined with the 5-drop Yamamoto, who generates energy on the front line, and during your turn, your opponent's characters that lose to this character in a battle are placed into their removal area instead of being sidelined. I think all of the Yamamoto should have had that line of text, because that's kind of his big shtick. But regardless, that is a line of text that most people don't remember being a thing, but yeah, it's a thing. 5-drop 4K generates energy on the front line. It helps you get to your big 7. Now, some people like to play Unohana in this deck. I hate it. I hate it so much. Every time I play Unohana, I bottom deck my 7-drop and my 5-drops. I don't want to do that, along with my finals and my specials. She's so much better in a deck where she's the big character, and nobody else is remotely as big as her. But yeah, I think this is going to be a really fun deck. Not as competitive as the other ones, but still very, very fun. Next up, this is one I've been tinkering with quite a bit. So we're used to normal Renji Rush, right? Where you play the Ichigos, the Renjis, you just kill a couple of characters, and that's more than likely going to be enough for you to kill your opponent. We get to play the big boy Byakuya instead, which is a fantastic card for killing small JIT characters. You get the minus 1k across the board on play if you place 2 cards from your removal into, or from your sideline into your removal. You have your Senbon Sakura that if you have Byakuya only costs 1 action. You get to 3k 1k or 3k 1k the same thing. You combine that with Renjis who do 3ks or Byakuyas that do 1k. Like, all of these synergize to you having multiple big swings where you remove multiple characters on your opponent's front line. The only thing they can really do to match you is to go 4k, 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 4k. And even at that, you can still match them with 4ks now that we have this new card select card. So 5 drop, 1 action, 4k. It's a 1 action card, which is the only reason this card is actually good. Active trigger, also good. Nullify impact, great. That is something that Bleach has been missing out on. The only thing you really had was the new Squad Zero Ichigo, but like that's it. So active main, you can only activate this ability if there is a character with BP less than its base BP on your opponent's front line. Switch this character active. Can only be activated. You can only activate this Renji Abara ability 1 time each turn, meaning it's all Renji Abara abilities with this ability. You can only have one of these be a rush card, but the ability to simply raid a Byakuya, minus 1k your opponent's board, play this Renji, active main, switch to active. He was only 1 AP, so you can easily do that. Or if you're curving to get all of your things, you play this Byakuya, minus 500 on your opponent's thing, play this Renji, he comes inactive, then raid Byakuya. Hopefully you're killing at least 2 characters through your attacks. Like, it's just really good synergy and curves to the deck. I think this is going to be one of those decks that if you master, is going to be insane. Absolutely insane to pilot. And it's going to be difficult for people to handle. The other new card select card is Byakuya. Look at the top 3 of your deck, place up to 1 of them into your sideline, then place the remaining cards on the top of your deck in any order. This, in a deck that has these 2 characters that both want to remove things from your sideline, is absurd. We have loot right here. We have the sideline one right there. We have loot right here. Like, all 3 of these cards now means you can consistently have what you need in your sideline when you need to rage your Renji and kill something, when you need to rage your Byakuya and do the double activates for his when attacking and when played to kill something. It's very difficult for your opponent to get chump damage in. And the only way they're going to be able to stand up to you is if they put 4Ks or 5Ks on the front line, and that is spamming the board with that. Even at that, like I said, you have ways to pop the things off. You just need to be using your resources very specifically. A very highly skill dependent deck that I think a lot of people are going to be able to utilize if they are passionate about playing the emo squad. I am working on a variant that plays Rukia, but sadly we didn't get the 0-cost Rukia, so my motivation to do that has been like, yeah, without her, I don't think it's going to do much. Actually, I'm going to write that in my next questionnaire I fill out. We want the 0-cost Rukia. Just give it to us. There's no reason we don't have it. All right. The next deck, and this is personally another one I'm going to be playing. I'm playing the green decks, and I'm playing this deck. Mayuri. It got 1 card, but this 1 card is dope. So, choose up to 1 other character on your field. It gains 1,000 BP. This is when played. That doesn't sound that good until you realize this is a deck that very consistently needs to buff its own things to remove things, but also to be able to swing through your opponent after removing some of their chump blockers. Choose up to his other when played, optional, you do one or the other. Choose up to 1 other character on your field. It gains 3,000 BP, and at the end of this character's attack, sideline it until the end of the turn. So you can make one of your small little zombies or your corpse units into a humongous threat, but after it attacks, it goes bye-bye. This card is insane. You can make any character in your entire deck a scary threat just for that one attack. You combine that with the Raid Mayuri, who buffs things, or the Mayuri that says when played you can sideline a character and kill a character on your opponent's front line, then draw a card, but it needs to have BP that is equal to or less than what you are killing. So Mayuri, let's just say you buff your 0 cost 1k up to a 4k. Then you play this Mayuri, you sideline her, blow up a 4k, and you draw a card off him, draw a card off her. This one card adds so much consistency and danger to this deck. Honestly, yeah, it's going to be fun. It also adds more triggers to the deck, which is something it was drastically missing. I do think this is not going to be highly competitive, but I think if there's going to be somebody who mains this and nobody's ready, oh yeah, it's going to be scary as hell. Very good card, very good deck. Can't wait to try this out. I love Mayuri. He's my favorite clown man. Very, very interesting guy. So, let's go over the last deck. Aptly named Easy Wins, aka Rukia Ichigo Post Binder. This is the other most anticipated deck within the Binder system. We have gotten 2 new cards that support it, and it makes Rukia Ichigo a specific hybrid that is very consistent, very good, and very, very scary. So, the first card we got is Rukia 1-drop. When played, look at the top 3 for an Ichigo, Renji, or Rukia or Byakuya card. Add among them cards among them and add it to your hand. You pick one. Place the remaining cards on the bottom of your deck in any order. If you added a card to your hand, place 1 card from your hand into your sideline. So search the top 3. We've seen this card a dozen times, but it's a 1-drop with a draw trigger and is the raid target. That cannot be expressed enough. This is a raid target. That is why it's so incredibly good. You combine that with the new Ichigo, which is less good than her, but still very, very strong. 3-drop, 3k, double energy producer, active trigger. Okay, good enough. It has double block, which is something that these decks have been missing greatly. Yes, it is only a 3k, but now the deck gets to play how many active triggers? 12? Yeah, 12 active triggers and double block. I think that's good enough. You hit 1 active out of life and you've bricked your opponent's entire turn. But it also has, during your turn, if you have placed a card from your hand into your sideline this turn, this character gains 1,000 BP. Now, if you know anything about this deck, you have the Looter Ichigo right here, who says draw 1, pitch 1. You have synergies with the Zangetsu card, where if you pitch him with an Ichigo, you make your Ichigo harder to block with small things. You can draw a card, pitch a card with this Ichigo right here. And then you have this one, which is place 1 of these into your sideline. Yeah, so you're pitching a Getsuga or Zangetsu into your sideline. Like, all of these are insanely good and synergistic, which means you're just adding more 3-drop threats to the deck. Now, this is not my personal list. I stole it from somebody from JP who topped a bigger event using this deck. And since I don't main this deck, I figured who better to go off of like how they play it. And looking through it, it seems, yeah, incredibly consistent. You have 2 Zangetsu cards to synergize with your Raid Ichigo. And that's good enough. Like, this card, unfortunately, does not have a trigger, but I think if it did, the deck would be broken as hell. You have the 4 specials for Rukia, because Rukia is the main character of this deck. You have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 double energy producers, so you are more than likely going to be able to have one in play when Rukia is played. And the fact that Rukia searches every character in this deck other than Zangetsu means, yeah, your consistency is going to be insane. This deck is going to go out of control. I have a feeling it's going to be terrifying for a lot of people to play against, and it just got a huge consistency boost. But I think these are going to be all of the decks that you should be looking forward to from the binders. And as a special note, most people bought the binder just for the green stuff. So if you want blue or purple, you should be able to pick them up at a much cheaper price than what everyone is selling the greens for, because a lot of people are kind of sleeping on these decks. And, well, if they sleep, then you should wake up. Just go ahead and do it, man. Play these decks. I think it's going to be great. I think this one's going to annoy me more than anybody else. But yeah, that'll be everything. We'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.